Mr. Mayor, your mic.
Sorry, rookie. Calling the meeting to order at 6:01 now, or 6:31. The first item on our agenda is the Indigenous Land Acknowledgement Statement. And it reads, as we gather, we are reminded that the Township of Edwardsburg Cardinal is situated on traditional territory of the Indigenous peoples, dating back countless generations, which is rich in history and home to many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people today. As a township, we have a responsibility for the stewardship of the lands on which we live, work, and play. And today, this meeting place is still home to Indigenous people, and we are grateful to have the opportunity to work on and call this land home. The next item on our agenda is the approval of the agenda. Deputy Mayor, I believe you have that item.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to amend the agenda, please. I'd like to move item 10D and E, following the consent for the people in the gallery, so they don't have to be here for the rest of the evening.
Okay.
And I also like to move 18 and 19 to follow 10D and E. I need a seconder for that.
Okay. Sorry,
Chris.
did you have a second?
Chris.
Yes. Okay. And discussion on the amendment of the agenda? Yeah,
Yes, we're just doing the closed session, trying to get it first from now on. It's just a new system. And with the people on 10D and E so far down, Mr. Mayor, I just thought it would be better to bring it forward so they can get on and do other things and not be here all night.
yeah, 100% agree.
Thank you so much.
Good motion. Okay, so moved and seconded then. If there's no further discussion, I'll call the question on the amendment of the agenda. All in favor? Of course, good. All right. Clerk, you'll have to keep us on. Thank you. All right, so disclosure of pecuniary interest, conflict of interest, and the general nature thereof. Does anyone have a disclosure or interest to declare? Okay, hearing and seeing none then. Delegations and presentations. There aren't any. Consent agenda. We're on now. Items listed under consent agenda are considered routine and no longer require a further discussion or enacted in one motion. The exception to this rule is that a member may request that one or more items be pulled for discussion and voted on separately. Councillor Martel, I believe that you have the consent agenda items to bring forward.
Thank you, your worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor, excuse me, Stephen Dillabaugh, that Municipal Council receives and approves the following consent agenda items as presented. A, regular council, September 30th, 2024. B, public library, June 25th, 2024 and September 24th, 2024. C, port management committee, September 23rd, 2024. D, committee of the whole, community development, October 7th, 2024. E, committee of the whole, administration and operations, October 15th, 2024. And F, MTO resolution.
Thank you, Councillor Martel. Okay. Everyone's had an opportunity to pull one of those. Does anyone, second thought, anyone want to pull it? Okay, hearing and seeing none, then I will call the question on consent agenda. All in favor? Good, unanimous. I feel like I missed something. I missed approval of the agenda. We did vote on it though, right? Okay. No, I just missed getting the paper and signing it. It's okay. So clerk, if you may. So we are at 10D. Okay, perfect. So which is the discussion for speed reduction on Yoakum Road and my tie's on backwards. Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh, I think you have that item.
Wow.
It was.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Mr. Ward. That whereas the current rate of speed of Yoakum Road is set under the Highway Traffic Act of 80 kilometers an hour, and whereas the municipality council has received delegation and comments from members of the public with concerns of the public safety and road condition due to speed of traffic traveling on Yoakum Road. And whereas the municipality council has received traffic study evaluation regarding the section of Yoakum Road, indicating that the current average vehicle operating speed ranges from 60 to 70 kilometers an hour. Now therefore be resolved that Municipality Council and the Corporation of Township of Riversburg Cardinal direct staff to prepare a bylaw on the rate of speed reduction from 80 kilometers to 60 kilometers an hour on Yocum Road for consideration.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Discussion. If any.
I think we discussed it the last meeting, Mr. Mayor, and we had our study that was presented, with Gal. So I
Yep.
think enough shows that we'd like to remove this speed limit from 80 to 60.
Further, anyone else?
So if I read this correctly, though, this is us just asking staff to prepare the report, right? So it'll come back to us for a final decision, or is this the final decision and that changes it to a 60 zone?
Good question.
To the mayor, I may defer to the clerk if I get this incorrectly, but in order to change the speed limit, you require the passing of a bylaw.
All right, and I don't think that's on the agenda later on. tonight. Okay,
Through the chair, that is correct. We do have to have direction to staff to actually draft this. So it'll be drafted, and depending on if there's further discussion, it'll either be brought forward on the November 11th meeting to review the bylaw, or it'll go direct to council at the November 25th.
Good.
all right, that's good. Thank you very much.
Decide? Nope. Okay, then. Last go. I mean, it's just to prepare the bylaw. We'll pass the bylaw at another time to bring it in. So good. Then I'll call the question. All in favor? Of course. Yeah. No brainer there either. Okay, so that one's that's 10D, right? 10. That was D, right? That was D. Okay. So now Deputy Mayor again. So the heavy truck diversion for Yocum Road, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Mr. Ward, whereas Yocum Road is currently being utilized by heavy truck traffic to access adjacent businesses on Smith Road, resulting in increased heavy vehicle traffic. And whereas over the past 2 years, the heavy traffic truck at Yocum Road has increased partly due to the vehicles avoiding other municipality roads that have speed reductions or heavy vehicle restrictions in place. And whereas the existing road platform along the heavy truck traffic is likely causing discomfort for other road users. And whereas Municipality Council has received delegations and comments from members of the public and concerns for the public safety, deteriorating the road condition due to the ongoing heavy truck traffic traveling on Yocum Road. Now therefore be it resolved that the Municipality Council and the Corporation of Township of Riversburg Cardinal direct staff to prepare a report on possible measures to be considered to regulate and restrict heavy truck traffic on Yocum Road.
Thank you, Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And I'll just look to staff for basically the same question on the last one. This is a vote on a report back on that, right? It's not to actually do it. It's just to give staff direction to prepare us a report on possible measures and outcomes, right? Okay, all right. Everybody understands what they're voting on. It's not to actually restrict it. It's to get the report that'll give us the measures that need to be done and potential outcomes. Clear? Okay, discussion? Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So with regards to this one, and it's, in the efforts for transparency and democracy, have we reached out to are the businesses that could be affected by this made aware, or and just because they may want to have some comment and conversation as well with us, and I just, if they want to have a voice, now would be the time. So if we haven't reached out, if we could, if that's something that we normally do, that'd be appreciated, I would think, because like I said, we just want to hear what their voice is because they're affected by it. So that's it.
Deputy?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have reached out to some of the businesses. I didn't get them all, but I am working on it. And I think with respect, Mr. Grant is doing the same. So yes, we're going to give them an opportunity for sure.
Further, guys? No? Okay, again, question on direction to staff to create the report. Yeah, all right, this should be simple too. All in favor? Yeah, of course. Okay. All right, so now clerk.
Through the chair, you're now looking to address going into closed session on 18.
All right, so then I have to clear the chamber, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, all right, so Deputy Mayor would have that item, correct? Thank you. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So if you'll bring that item forward, please. Doesn't matter. We're not in closed session until you move the motion.
Moved by myself and second by. Thank you. Moved by myself and second by Mr. Ward that the municipality council proceeds in the closed session at 6:55 PM in order to address a matter pertaining to Section 2392, advice that the subject of solicitor client privilege, including communications necessary for the purpose specifically pre-servicing agreement. Section 2392B, personal matters about identifiable individual, including municipality or local board employers, specifically committee review and appointment. Section C, Section 2392B, personal matters about identifying an individual, including municipality or local board employees, specifically administration CEO. And D, Section 2392D, labor relations or employees negotiation, specifically includes closed session minutes and dated September 30th, 2024.
Deputy Mayor, I'll call the question. Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I'll call the question then to go into closed session. All in favor? Good. And then we'll take like a 4 minute break to allow the relevant staff to stay and everyone else to leave.
Testing.
Speaker is not working.
Testing. Yeah, mine's good.
It's not doing it at all.
Doing this is not.
Okay. All right. So we're coming out, then we're doing nothing. We're going to vote to come out of closed. Okay, cool. All right, let's go.
Moved by myself and second by Mr. Ward that the closed meeting of municipality council is now adjourned and open meeting does now resume at 8:19 PM.
All right, call the question on coming out of closed and back into open. All in favor?
Favor.
Good. Okay. Okay, so we're good to go. Yeah. All right. So coming out of closed session, we have minutes to approve an open session. So Councillor Smale, I believe you have that item to bring forward.
I do, your worship. Thank you. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Joe Martell, the municipal council receives and approves the minutes of the closed session dated September 30th, 2024.
All right, I'll call the question on approval of the minutes. All in favor? Just lost my pen. Did you steal it? I don't know what I did with my pen. Thanks, Steve. All right, and reporting out of closed session, council met to discuss four items. So we met under section 239(2)(f), which is to receive advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for a purpose, specifically a pre-servicing agreement, and we provided direction back to staff. B, section 239(2)(b), personnel matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, specifically committee review and appointment. And we gave specific direction for that item as well. And item D, which is 239(2)(b), again, personnel matters about an identifiable individual, including a municipal or local board employee, specifically administration/CAO. And we gave specific direction to staff in regard to that item as well. Just look to the clerk to make sure I'm procedurally good. Perfect. All right, now help me out. Where are we?
Through the chair, we have addressed everything. We are now on 10B.
10B, correct? We passed them
We already
already.
passed them.
First thing we did. Okay, so we are on for discussion for annual award ceremony, additional award categories. And Councillor Ward, I think you have that item.
Yes, I do, your Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Joe Martell. Whereas members of the Committee of the Whole, Administration and Operations, and Municipal Council of the Township of Edwardsburg Cardinal reviewed and discussed the concept of implementing additional categories to be annually recognized by the Youth Citizen of the Year Awards, and whereas the following additional award categories were proposed: Small Business of the Year, Large Business of the Year, and Community Organization Volunteer Group of the Year. And now therefore it be resolved that the Municipal Council of the Corporation of the Township of Edwardsburg Cardinal implements the following three new categories and their individual criteria for nomination. 1, Small Business of the Year. A, the nominee must be an active business located within the township. B, nominee must employ less than 20 employees. C, no more than one person or group may nominate the same business. D, nominees may not self-nominate for the award. E, nominations will be reviewed by council and their decision will be final. Number 2, Large Business of the Year. A, nominee must be an active business and located within the township. B, nominee must employ 20 or more employees. C, no more than one person or group may nominate the same business. D, nominees may not self-nominate for the award. E, nominations will be reviewed by council and their decision will be final. And then number 3, Community Organization / Volunteer Group of the Year. A, nominee must be an active organization group located within the township. B, nominee has contributed to the improving of the township. C, no more than one person group may nominate the same organization group. D, nominees may not self-nominate for the award. E, nominations will be reviewed by council and their decision will be final. And further that Municipal Council directs staff to explore options to expand the 2025 award celebrations event to incorporate a recognition meal for award recipients, nominees, and other associates, family, and the public.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. That was really, really good.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. I just want to look at this quick for one thing of clarification, and I think I may have heard it wrong, but or right or wrong, but it's more than one person group. One person or group may nominate the same business. That's correct, right? I don't think it was read that way though, was it?
Through the chair, that is correct.
That is correct, right? The way that I just read it is correct?
Correct.
Yeah, okay, so it's not more, it's more. Right? Yeah, okay, all right, just so that we're clear on that. All right. I'll just sign on both sides, okay. Further discussion? I don't think so, eh?
Yeah.
We're excited about this one, right? All right, then I'll call the vote, all in favor? Good. Okay, grant application, this is an info item, I suppose? Action item, okay, do you want to speak to it, Mike? Yep,
Certainly.
floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So this is an action item regarding the grant application for the rehabilitation of the Cardinal tennis courts. The Community Sport and Recreational Infrastructure Fund is a program aimed at supporting the repair or rehabilitation of existing facilities in the recreation departments. The township has for a number of years looked at revitalizing the Cardinal one, similar to what we've just completed doing the Johnstown one. Back in 2021, I believe we submitted applications to do both in another provincial funding, and we were not successful in that. So this grant application basically will give us the opportunity to revamp the tennis courts to almost a carbon copy to what is currently in Johnstown. It'd be 1 tennis court and 4 pickleball courts, but it would also give the coating on the existing basketball area with 2 new nets and the proper markings for that as well. The grant application gave us a little bit more flexibility, so we will also be putting a small band shell up, similar to the one that's at the Johnstown pool for a picnic area, and we would have a couple of picnic tables, garbage receptacles, and 1 set of our bleachers that we have purchased this past year. So that all is what would be going in that area. So that's basically it. It would be, like I said, a carbon copy, lighting, fencing, and the pickleball. And the projected price at 50% of the grant application would be $150,850. And I would just like to also thank our community development coordinator, Wendy, for helping assist in putting this grant application together. She was very helpful.
Thank you. Mike, for this one, this is certainly we understand, you know, it's a long acronym, it's 5 letters, C something or other, whatever. There's 2 streams, right? There's one that's for large projects, and then there's one that's for, you know, smaller projects. And I think this is a perfect example, right, to revitalize aged and not maintained infrastructure. It's open to the entire province, and this couldn't fit any better. I don't know if pictures were part of the application, but it certainly, you know, the pictures would speak volumes of you know why that needs to be fixed up. So I love this application. My only concern, and I think it's part of the application, is that we have to put the 150 aside in the budget. Is that correct for this year? In case we get it, it's not something that we can come back and say we got the application or we were successful. We need to find the money now. It's something that we have to put aside or earmark for success.
That is my understanding, yes.
Good. All right. Further discussion, anyone? Chris?
I guess that was a similar question to what I have. So putting the money aside, it has to be built in 2025 as well, or is it something that has to be built thereafter once we get the approval for it?
Through the chair to Councillor Ward, it would have to be completed in, I believe it's June of 2027. But that is more for if it's a new structure build type thing, which would be the second phase. But we're only applying for the stream 1, not stream 2. That's correct.
Yeah, for the reno part, right?
That is correct,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, and my only
Great
concern
program.
there is, you know, I mean, I have other things I'd love to see as well next year, and as long as they both fit in there, I'm happy to do this, but it's my second priority, I guess is what I'm saying from that perspective. But if we can get this funding in place for this is a good initiative, and I really appreciate that, and so good.
Yeah, yeah, and fair enough. And I certainly support that. There's a ton of ways to spend our money, but I think anytime you get the opportunity to have a 50-cent dollar, you got to take the shots, right? I mean, there's no guarantee we get them, but at least we've allocated those dollars and we can utilize them somewhere else if we're not successful, right? Yeah. Okay, further discussion? All right. So has the motions have been read? Single motion? No motions read yet? Sorry. That's my bad. Councillor Martel, we shouldn't be discussing it until it's on the floor. Can you bring that forward?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have two of them here. I'm assuming I read them concurrently, then thank you.
One motion at a time. There's only allowed to have one motion on the floor. So first, there should be one that's small and then one that's big.
Yes.
Small motion first, then we vote on the small motion.
We
then
can't
the large
vote on
motion.
small motion until we read the large one though, can we? And this says we're accepting this, so we have to hear this first.
It's
Just
through-
ask clerk for clarification.
Through the chair, it's a double backer, basically. We need to have the first motion put on the table, voted on. You're able to, we would have assumed that through the review of your agenda package, you would have
Yeah.
already read and understood the second motion that's drafted. So if there's no concerns with that, that was part of the report. Then you approve the first motion that's for council to adopt the second motion. And then you read the second motion in full and approve it.
Procedurally, it's
Thank you for clearing up that motion. Moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stephen Dillabaugh that municipal council adopt the attached resolution in support of the township's application to the Community Sport and Recreation Infrastructure Fund for the rehabilitation of the Cardinal tennis and basketball courts.
all right. All right. Discussion on the first motion. Hearing none, then I'll call the question. All in favor? All right, proceed to motion 2.
Moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stephen Dillabaugh, whereas the Township of Edwardsburg Cardinal recognizes the need to rehabilitate the tennis and basketball courts in Cardinal to improve recreational opportunities for the residents and the community. And whereas the proposed project includes resurfacing, new lighting, fencing, spectator seating, and installation of equipment to accommodate recreational activities, including tennis, pickleball, and basketball. And whereas the estimated project cost is approximately $301,700, with funding being pursued through the Community Sport and Recreation Infrastructure Fund, now therefore be it resolved that Municipal Council of the Corporation of the Township of Edwardsburg Cardinal fully endorses and supports the rehabilitation project for the Cardinal tennis and basketball courts and authorizes staff to proceed with the grant application and all necessary steps to undertake the project.
All right, fantastic. I think one thing that important is maybe it should be on here. I'm just gonna look to the clerk. These applications need a push when they get where they go. And they certainly need the help of provincial representation when we want to, put that push on. I know certainly that the support of having our MPP go and back our motions and give them a little push certainly doesn't hurt us. Do we send these to him so that or do we need to have it on there that it be shared with our MPP so that he does know that we are moving it forward?
Through the chair, that's fairly standard practice in the clerk's office, even if it's not directly written within. If your comfort level is to specifically identify it and amend the motion to incorporate that this resolution be forwarded on to X, Y, and Z, you're more than welcome to do that as well. With this one, we were intending to submit it to the MPP and the respective ministry.
as long as the MPP is going to get it, I don't know that it needs to be amended. I just wanted to make sure that he had it and he understood that, you know, we need his backing and his support as we push these things through. Well, it would be just a friendly little amendment. But I don't think we need it. That's what you're telling me. Yeah, okay. All right. So further discussion. Seeing none, then I'll call the question. All in favor? Good. Nice application. Well done. Happy to see that one come forward, Mike. Curbside waste. All right, so curbside solid waste collection agreement extension, Councillor Smale.
Thank you, Mayor. Move by myself, seconded by Councilor Joe Martell, that the municipal council direct staff to prepare a one-year extended agreement with the HGC Management Incorporated in the amount of $342,000 plus HST, and authorize the mayor and clerk to execute the required documents as recommended by the Committee of Whole Administration and Operations.
All right, certainly a lively discussion. And it, I'm not going to open it up. I just want to note that it is what we believe is a fairly substantial increase over for solid waste collection without recycle collection. Am I clear? Am I right on that?
Through the mayor, yes, in comparison to the previous year, it is.
Right. However, understanding that the last 3 years we had a company that wanted the business and they certainly bid to get the business, right?
Through the mayor, I think that's a fair statement, especially if we're looking at the other 3 bids that came in at that particular time. This is still what I would consider a very competitive bid for the year.
Okay, good. All right, so we have a recommendation. It's been moved in second. Is there further discussion on this? Hearing and seeing none, then I will call the question. All in favor? That was a tentative, Chris. Well, neither do I. All right. RBC credit facility increase, Councillor Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Joe Martell that municipal council direct the treasurer to increase the current credit facility from $100,000 to $500,000 and authorize the mayor and CAO to execute the amending agreement.
Thank you. It's on the floor, first and seconded. Did you want to speak to it at all, treasurer, or no?
Sure,
Yeah.
I can, so the current facility that we have is 100,000. So the thought was that, kind of being proactive and looking at our options for other ways to execute or purchase vehicles and equipment. So moving forward, instead of using reserves or increasing the operating budget, executing that credit facility for those purchases.
Right. Gives us a lot of flexibility to do that initial purchase and then choose how we fund it
Exactly.
afterwards, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. A lot more flexibility. Yeah. Yeah. And we already had the 100,000, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. So all we're doing is just bumping it a little bit to provide that added number. So, yeah, sure.
Through the mayor, is this? I'm assuming this is secured basically on township assets, and is that a more favorable interest rate than some of the other options out there, or has some flexibility to that, or is that not true?
Oh, through the chair. So this would be the rate that we would be given at the time that we execute the credit facility. So it would just be based on what the interest rates are at that time.
Thank you.
You're good? Okay. All right. This one's a no-brainer. Further discussion at all? No. All right, I'll call the question. All in favor? Good. Ooh, that doesn't look like my signature. All right. Correspondence, Councillor Martell. Turn your mic on.
Thank you. Moved by myself, second by Deputy Mayor Stephen Dillabaugh, that municipal council receives the correspondence listings for the following dates as previously circulated: October 9th, 2024, October 2nd, 2024, October 16th, 2024, and October 23rd, 2024.
Awesome. Thank you. Questions, concerns about correspondence? Okay, all in favor? Good, then we are on to disbursements. Councillor Ward, I believe you have that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Excuse me, sorry about that. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Joe Martell, that municipal council receives the payment of municipal invoices circulated and dated as follows. Report dated September 25th, 2024-161 for $1,676,731.45. Report dated September 26th, 2024-162 for $67,566.95. Report dated October 15, 2024-173 for $336,345.04. Report dated October 18, 2024-175 for $64,280.29. Report dated October 23rd, 2024-176 for $295,582.66. And report dated October 23rd, 2024-177 for $135,803.28 for a total of $2,576,309.67.
All right. Approval of what we've pretty much already paid. But understanding and getting the invoices. So discussion, if any, on disbursements?
Just my usual caveat, Mr. Mayor. I like to always point these things out that, in this payment here of the 2.6 million, fully, 600,000 of it was to the school boards, with another million going towards our capital expenditures this year, this month, pardon me, that were, easily identifiable capital expenditures, away with others, for about $1 million. So it's mostly stuff that we either wasn't our money to begin with, or it's part of the infrastructure that we're doing to make sure the community is in a much better state than it was years ago. Thank you.
Yeah, makes sense. Further, anyone? No? All right, then I will call the question. All in favor? Bylaw portion of the meeting. Councillor Martell, you have item 13A, which is a development agreement for 27 David Street, Bronzeski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Deputy Mayor Stephen Dillabaugh, that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to authorize the execution of a development agreement with Edward Broniseski and Lila Broniseski, and this shall constitute first and second reading thereof.
All right. First and second reading, comments, questions, concerns? Yes.
It's probably just more to point it out, but so, no, it's probably a question, actually. So in here, it says in item number 3, that this is to allow a single family dwelling on the proposed service lot. By agreeing to this, that is in fact what we're naming it as, or is it possible that they could change their mind without coming back before council and committee and council just to change it if they decided to change it?
It's a question to me or a question to? You may have to repeat it.
I just want to make sure that if they decide to change it from a single family dwelling, that it has to come back here for further discussion. That's all.
So through the through the mayor, the hydrogeological study that was conducted was under the understanding of a single family dwelling. So if the applicant was looking to deviate from that, then they would have to do some additional study work and come back to have that. So that's why it's specific to that single family dwelling.
Perfect. Thank you very much. That's good. Yep.
All right. So first and second reading, further comments or questions? Okay, I'll call the question on first and second reading. All in favor? It's unanimous. You can go to third reading, Councillor Martell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Waddy Smale that a bylaw to authorize the execution and of a development agreement with Edward Broniseski and Leela Broniseski be now read a third and final time, passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2024-56.
Alrighty, thank you, Councillor Martell. Third reading. Further comments or questions before I call the question? Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? All right, so to amend procedural bylaw 2023-25 to allow member reports, first and second reading, Councillor Ward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And as you stated, there will be no third reading on this one. That'll come next month. It's because of procedural bylaws. I was advised by the clerk. Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Joe Martell that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to amend bylaw 2023-25, being a bylaw to govern the proceedings of council and committees on council, and this shall constitute first and second reading thereof.
Thank you, Deputy. First and second reading on the procedural change, which will allow, which we usually do anyways under mayor's report, but it makes it less formal and gives every single member the ability to, if they should choose, bring a report forward. So I think it's high time that we do that. We're all busy in our township. We all attend events. And if there's things that we want to talk about, this gives us the option to do it procedurally and in a correct manner, and it respects your position. So happy to see this come forward. So having said that, is there further comment or question on anyone? No. All right, then I'll call the question. All in favor? Good. And we'll see third reading next month. Good. Item C, which is amend terms of reference for committees and council 2022-16. Members report. Deputy Mayor Dillabaugh.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Mr. Martell that the mover be granted a leave to introduce the bylaw amendment bylaw 2022-71 to establish terms in reference to committees of council. And this shall constitute the first and second reading thereof.
Thank you. First and second reading. Would this one go all the way to 3 today?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, it
All right.
will, Mr. Mayor.
So first and, well, if it passes, first and unanimously, first and second reading, are there comments or questions in regard to this? All right, I see none. So then I'll call the question. All in favor? It is unanimous. You can go.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Moved by myself and seconded by Mr. Martell that the bylaw may be amended. Amend bylaw 2022-71 to establish terms and references of committee of council be now read a third and final time, finally passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2024-57.
Excellent. All right, third and final reading. Comments, questions? Hearing and seeing none, then I'll call the question. All in favor? Good. And service agreement for circular materials, promotion and education, Councillor Martell.
Thank you. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Waddy Smale that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to authorize the mayor and clerk to execute an agreement with Circular Materials for the provision of eligible community promotion and education services, and this shall constitute first and second reading thereof.
All right. First and second reading on this one. Does anyone have any comments or questions? We've been down the road a few times. All right, then I will call the question. All in favor on first and second? Everyone, okay, proceed to third.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Waddy Smale that a bylaw to authorize the mayor and clerk to execute an agreement with Circular Materials for the provision of eligible community promotion and education services be now read a third and final time, passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2024-58.
All right, this will begin the community promotion and the educational portion of what makes things eligible, right? And who is eligible and what is eligible, and the changes that'll be coming with the Blue Box program. Very popular for sure. I'm sure it'll be very well received. Is there further discussion or comment in regard to this? I think that probably just said it all. Yeah, go ahead.
So with us approving this, do we know when we'll start to get the word out? Because I guess the word is starting to get out now, and I don't, we'd like to have something out there as soon as we can, obviously.
Staff.
Thank you through the mayor. Once it's approved tonight, we have our work cut out for us to get rolling on this as soon as possible.
Good. All right. Further, anyone? Hearing none, can you see that yet? All right. I saw you do the aggressive. All right, I'll call the question on third reading. All in favor? And of course you are. Yeah, it's getting late. That's why we did closed session first. Makes sense. Thanks, Steve. 13E Memorandum of Understanding for the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville sidewalk. The storage of our sidewalk unit. Councillor Smale, I think you have that.
Thank you, Mayor. Move by myself, seconded by.
Oh, sorry.
Right here.
Start over. There
That
you
little
go.
button right there.
Yeah.
I don't get to talk much. Thank you, Mayor. Moved by myself, seconded by Joe Martell, Councillor, that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to authorize the mayor and the CAO to execute a memorandum of understanding with United Counties of Leeds and Grenville for sidewalk plow storage, and this shall constitute first and second reading thereof.
All right. A home for sidewalk plow. You want to speak to this?
No, we did it last year. I think it's great that the CEO or that Mr. Grant's coming on to it way ahead before the snow flies. So thank you very much for looking into that.
No tracks down a different road, eh? All right, first and second reading. I better behave myself. Further discussion on first and second reading? All right, call the question. All in favor? Yes, good. You may proceed to third reading, Councillor Smale.
Thank you, Mayor. We're moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Joe Martell, that a bylaw to authorize the mayor and the CAO to execute a memorandum of understanding with the United Counties of Leeds and Grenville for sidewalk plow storage to be now read a third and final time, passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2024-59.
Thank you. Comments, questions, anybody? No. I would just say thanks to staff on this one as well. Having, I think it's just a good agreement, right? And it puts it in place at a very, very low dollar cost over, if I remember right, was it a 3-year agreement? Is it a 5-year agreement?
But it would be a 5-year. agreement.
5-year agreement, right? Yeah, very, very low cost to us. It just makes sense. It's certainly going to take some wear and tear off the machines, and it just makes sense. So safe space, right? Okay, your mic's still on. Okay, sure. There you go. Further comments? No? All right. All in favor? Good. Amending agreement for the RBC credit facility increase, Councillor Ward.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Joe Martell, that the mover be granted leave to introduce a bylaw to authorize the mayor and CAO to execute amending agreement with the Royal Bank of Canada to increase the credit facility, and this shall constitute first and second reading thereof.
Thank you very much. Item we just saw a little bit ago, first and second reading, no comments, all in favor? Proceed to third.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Joe Martell, that a bylaw to authorize the mayor and CAO to execute amending agreement with the Royal Bank of Canada to increase the credit facility be now read a third and final time, passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2024-60.
Comments and questions regarding third and final? Hearing and seeing none, then I'll call the question. All in favor? Okay, we're on to CAO's administrative update. Councillor Martell, would you bring that forward?
Thank you, your worship. Moved by myself, seconded by Waddy Smale, Councillor. The municipal council receives the CAO administrative report as presented.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Deputy CAO, are you going to present the CAO's or O's report, or would you prefer questions, or how do you want to?
Through the mayor, I can certainly highlight some of the CAO's report.
Okay.
And then we'll take any questions that may arise.
Okay, you proceed.
Okay. So I think under administration, economic development, with respect to community development with the November 4th meeting, we will have a delegation from the South Grenville students with respect to the newsletter. And what we'd like to do is set up for members of council to meet the students at 6 p.m. Have a little pizza and conversation before the meeting starts, and then have them present the delegation. So we'll be looking to have members here by 6 p.m. that night. Under economic development, we were successful in receiving the Grenville Future Development grant of $3,000 to help support with the updating of the new community improvement plan. And RFP has been issued and closes on November 25th. Under Treasury, MNP was in to complete the interim audit last week. It went relatively smooth, knock on wood, that the final audit that will take place in the new year will go as smooth. Staff attended a training session on the new FMW module for budgeting and capital operating and capital forecasts. So I would say that the managers are working through getting used to the system, but there's a lot of advantages thus far from early on with respect to this module and how it will function for us. Just of note, two final notices have been issued to property owners, and they have to the end of the year to pay the cancellation price or to look to enter into an extension agreement. Under recreation and facilities, the washrooms down at the park have been closed for the season now that the temperature overnight has been dropping below zero. Seniors tech class have started Wednesdays in Johnstown and Thursdays in Cardinal. Staff attended the trunk and treat day in Johnstown and Cardinal yesterday. And the flags, the Canadian flags will be changed at all those locations, and the cenotaphs cleaned up in advance of November 11th services. With respect to the Weir Bridge, progressing well, and anticipate that should be completed by November 8th, if not sooner, have that opened up. Roads program. So we can update at the conclusion of today. All the main road paving has been completed. There are still some driveway tie-ins to be completed on some of the roads, and some shouldering at various locations. We've had a couple contractors in the last few weeks, Provincial Pavement to do some asphalt patching work, and ICANN to install the GPS AVL on most of the public works vehicles. With respect to environmental services, we're in the process of hydrant flushing, fall hydrant flushing. The connection to Atlantra with the new fire hydrant installation has been completed, and most of the systems are just regular routine rounds being completed. With respect to the municipal drains, Newport County Road 2, as those that attended the emergency exercise today, it was completed a little ahead of schedule, but which is good. The culvert was completed by Clarence McDonald Construction on October 18th. With respect to fire department training, the department attended the Lyndhurst Training Center on this past Saturday with 18 members in attendance, working on live fire attack, car fires, and SCBA confidence drills. With respect to in the process of developing an application to host one of the Fire College mobile live fire training units at Station 1 for several days in 2025. And working with Augusta and Prescott, who have expressed interest in participating in getting that unit. Yes, of other note, the paramedic boot camp was completed, and maybe I'll turn to the chief for numbers of those in attendance. We're around 80 to 100, or maybe a little bit more.
Through the chair, David, that is correct. I believe there were 10 paramedic services students from 2 universities, as well as Algonquin paramedic students and the OPP as well.
Excellent, thank you. And a final note, the Emergency Control Group met on October 21st to complete the annual review and receive some training on some of the key areas of the emergency response plan. So with that, Mayor, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Deputy CAO. Comments, questions at all from the group? Certainly there's a lot of meat in there. It's busy, busy time. So comments, Chris?
Yeah, it was just a quick one actually, and it's more, a hope, but it's not a direction or anything like that. But with the Weir Road Bridge is awesome that it's getting that close. I've had people ask me in a while, mind you, I'm not sure if the word's been out, but I haven't seen it on our Facebook. But it'd be nice maybe to say, maybe there's a tentative date of sometime between the 8th, if they're strongly thinking that the 8th is possible, to put that out there so farmers are aware, because I know that they were a little upset at first because of the restriction on the road with during the harvest. During planting season, but it sounds like during harvest it should be okay. So be nice. That's it. Everything else is looking good, by the way. And thanks to staff for doing all the stuff they do with regards to the various things, and including it was good to see some more trucks yesterday at the trunk or treat again. So good to see. Thanks.
Yep. Anyone else?
No.
Stephen?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have under recreation. I see we have a senior tech class Wednesday in Johnstown, Thursday in Cardinal. We discussed this before, Mike. Is there any word we can have something out here in Spencerville?
Through the chair to the deputy mayor, yes, I indicated that the last time you asked the question. This 6-week program is set for those 2 locations, and then in January, there'll be another 6-week program that will start the last 2 weeks of January and the 4 weeks into February. And one of those days will be out here and in Johnstown.
Thank you for that. And just one question, it's not on your program here, but did I see something or read something that our pickleball courts are closed now in Johnstown?
That is correct. We closed them today.
Is there a reason? Seeing it's going to be nice for the next couple of weeks?
It's going to be nice today and tomorrow, but the weather on the weekend is 8 degrees. I checked out the video cameras this week, and they weren't being used much over the course of the weekend. And in recommendations from Chris Smith, who is the individual who puts the application down, he sent the notification today saying that most of his courts are being closed up this week. So we took his advice.
I can't vouch for that then. Thank you.
Anyone? It's on? Yeah. Anyone else? No, I think and you stole my question. Mine was really just the pickleball group are a ravenous bunch, and I'd love to see them open as long as they can be open. There's limited places to play. I know a lot of the folks maybe go south at this point, but there are people that are still looking. It's a fantastic recreational opportunity, and with climate changing, it is lengthening out our time. But I guess if the numbers are limited, then something maybe we can keep an eye on anyway. Thank you for the report. All right, so but it has been moved and seconded. Okay, so then I'll call the question. And nobody else further? Okay, I'll call the question then. All in favor? Yeah. Okay. Shoo, inquiries and notices of motion. Does anybody have an inquiry or notice of motion? Counselor?
Through the chair to staff, could we possibly see a discussion item on the CDC agenda regarding overnight camping with RVs down by Legion Park and Cardinal, please?
Do you have more information or will you provide more information?
Yeah, we'll provide for more information, and we all know we're being inundated with complaints on campers staying overnight there, and I think we just need to review the bylaw. It seems unenforceable. Maybe we should just look at what we're doing. I don't want to start a debate or discussion now. I'd just like to see it on the agenda, please.
Okay, absolutely. So,
Didn't realize there's a problem.
so, so CDC, right? That's you. And so you want a copy of the bylaw to be available then for that discussion? Is that what you're asking for?
Sure.
And I'm assuming you're going to lead that discussion.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good.
Thank you.
We're good? Okay. All right. And so mayor's report. And then we'll do members' mayor report very quickly, I promise. Okay. So first is a congratulations, which goes to the group at Sierra and the Cardinal Festival Committee for, organizing and arranging trunk or treat to staff that participated, both fire and recreation, and probably in ways that I don't know, and the use of the field, that sort of thing, and to all the trunk or people who gave out candy. Have to mention Giant Tiger in this as well. They brought in the truck. The great big huge truck, and I was like, wow, what are they bringing? Well, they brought the mascot, they brought their tent, they brought all the things that they brought, but the thing that they made sure that everyone had, they unloaded with a forklift a pallet full of candy, and they continually walked around to make sure that they were giving them out boxes of 150 at a time to make sure that everybody still had candy to give out. So a huge thank you to Sierra, to the Cardinal Festival Committee, all the people that participated, and definitely to Giant Tiger. A concern that some of us may know about, staff definitely knows about it. I've forwarded it on, but it was our OPP budget numbers. I received email this weekend. It was on Friday night, which I forwarded on to staff, but it was, we're seeing a considerable increase, which was, I think, 250K, right, above the budget. But the email that I received was from our MPP's office, and it was to all of the mayors of United Counties, Leeds, and Grenville, that we would see no negative impact to our budget, and to that we would be made whole. So I made sure that email has been forwarded on. That's certainly fantastic news as we worry about finding ways to offset that. That's a 2.88% increase or something along the sides in taxation, and those words meant a lot to me when I read them, that we would be made whole. So we'll wait and see what actually comes of that, but there's certainly been the indication of a promise. So I look forward to hearing that, and that hopefully will make budget discussions a little easier for this year. I think it's November 19th for Tri-Municipal Council. We all we'll have that discussion. I can't remember where. Do you remember where that is offhand? In Maitland? Maitland. Okay, Maitland Fire Hall. To discuss physician retainment. I think is the big item on that discussion. Next, I have that the deputy mayor and myself and director of operations and met with Eric and Aaron from Environmental Services today to go over our DWQMS review, which was, I think I'll risk this and try it, but it came in as a sparkling review, very clear review. Fantastic. They do their job with such professionalism and provide a very safe, and it does say clear in their mandate product to drink in our system. So kudos to Eric and the group at you know, at the drinking water portion of our environmental services. They do a fantastic job, and it's, you know, the review is great. Great news, the passed bylaw at our last United Counties meeting, which is the lifting, I think that's the right way to say this, lifting of the weight restrictions on the Hyman Road Bridge. So that should help alleviate some of those issues, right, that were out there. Happy to have that come forward, and that it's been a long time, marred by bad weather, but it's a new product that they put on there. It should work really well, and looking forward to, I haven't had the chance to go over it yet, but looking forward to it being 100%. And I know all the weight restrictions as of last Thursday were lifted, so should be fully operational. And last but not least on my list of things to mention is October 21st did see it hasn't been mentioned at council, it's been mentioned at port management, but we welcomed our new incoming general manager, Leslie Drainen. And in discussing that with Leslie this week, she had an absolutely fantastic week. Last week, meeting every single staff member on the business side, meeting tons of the truckers and some of the people even on the ship. So she refers to it as where she's supposed to be. And I look forward to, you know, her continued excitement and the great things that she's going to bring to the organization. So with that, that's it for me. Does anybody else want to add anything quickly?
Just that for any of our viewers, it would be well worth your time to look up on Facebook and see if you can find a squirrel doing somersaults at the Sarah at the Johnstown campus. It's just well worthwhile. So that's all I had to say.
It's likely where I lost my wallet.
Maybe it's where you lost your wallet.
That's a demonstration.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I was on a seminar last week from October 22nd to the 24th called Growing Ontario Municipality Agriculture Economic Development and Planning Forum. It was probably one of the best seminars I've been on since I've been here in 6 years. We went and visited 5 different farms. From 5 acres that they make a living on vegetables to 1,100 acres of farming, 1,800 or 180 cows, and so on, in a blueberry farm and a Mennonite farm. And that was all Tuesday. We left the court at 8, home at 5:30. I was in bed at 8:30. I mean, I was just done. Tuesday or Thursday, we had some good guests. We had updates on the provincial planning, which I told Wendy, and she's going to, you know, there's a course in November. I think it's the 7th. And I said, she says, yes, I know. So she's going, but the planning services were there. We had the grain elevators, people there that farm for grains, and I met a lot of connections where I think we can do some real good business for the Port of Johnstown. So it was well worth it, and I would recommend that to. We should have took our planner actually, and Wendy, economic developer on that. So, and it doesn't come around that often. It's usually in Western Ontario. So, anyways, really well done. I was really impressed. Thank you.
Good. Thank you for attending. It sounds like it was a great time. Guys, you have comments or anything? No? Okay. Mayor's report. Did we?
Okay, moved by myself and seconded by Mr. Martel, that the municipality council receives the mayor's report as presented.
Thank you very much. Call the question. All in favor? Okay. Question period. No questions. Nobody online. We've already done closed session. Confirmation by law. Councillor Martel.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Waddy Smail, that a bylaw to adopt, confirm, and ratify matters dealt with by resolution be now signed, sealed, passed, signed, sealed, and numbered 2024-61.
Okay, confirmation by law, comments, questions, none, call the question, all in favor? Good, and we can proceed to adjournment, and Councillor Ward, you have that one.
Moved by myself and seconded by Councillor Joe Martell, that municipal council does now adjourn at 9:16 PM.
Non-debatable, call the question, all in favor? We are adjourned.